everyone. So yesterday was a brilliant day for the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, obviously, Russell Westbrook had his first game with the Clippers, and the Clippers and the Kings basically decided, hey, let's have an all-star game and just not play any defense, and let's all try to reach 200 in scoring, and they did their best effort. Kings ended up winning 176 to 175 against the Clippers, which is just ridiculous. But beyond the Clippers taking the L, and Russell Westbrook taking the L in his first Clipper debut, because, look, I've supported Russ, but he's a Clipper now, so sorry, but the Thunder lost to the Suns, which was huge, and the Timberwolves ended up losing to the Hornets. So the Hornets, man, trading Plumlee, all of a sudden they're on a winning streak. They're looking good. Let's go. I am all for it. So now, since the Timberwolves lost, the Thunder lost, and the Clippers lost, unfortunately the Warriors beat the Rockets, but Rockets are trying to tank for Victor Wembanyama, so it's understandable. But the beauty is, and the reason that this is even part of a discussion, is because the Lakers just gained a ton of ground. So look at what you see on screen. Right now, the Lakers are half a game out of 11th and 2 games out of 8th and 7th. So literally, they are 2 games out of being in the spot of the play-in you want to be, 7-8 seed, because there you only have to win 1 game as opposed to 2. So they're in that ballpark, right? They are 3.5 games out of 6th place, but they are only 4 games out of 4th. And there's still they still have 22 games to play. That is really good. And when you look at this, when you look at the standings and you look at everything, like the beauty is like everybody's in that like 30 to 31 loss range, except for the Mavericks, which we get to play them tomorrow. So if we beat them, now they're in the 30 range. And so they'd be 32 and 30. We would be 29 and 32. And then if we beat them again, all of a sudden, we're right there. I mean, seriously, if we can rattle off, like, I'm not even saying like we have to go on a 10-game win streak or something like that, right? If we can just reasonably get, say, 6 out of our next 7 or 8, I really think we're in at least the 6th seed. Because, so we have the Mavericks. We have to beat the Mavericks, right? Because, again, team in front of us, the Grizzlies. Now, I would like to beat the Grizzlies, but we play them in Memphis, and they're the 2 seed, right? So if you were to lose to a team, it would be that. But then you got the Thunder, the Timberwolves, the Warriors. All 3 of those games you have to win after the Grizzlies, right? Because those are all teams in front of you. Every time you beat one of them, you would get a full game on them. So all of a sudden, you have a full game on the Thunder, full game on the Warriors, again, on top of the other 2 full games, and you'd have a full game on the Timberwolves. And all of a sudden, you're at least in the 7th seed, bare minimum. Bare minimum. Because you would jump the Warriors, you would jump the Timberwolves, and you jump the Thunder. So, there you go. And then you play the Grizzlies again at home. Hopefully you beat the Grizzlies that time at home. Then you play the Raptors, the Knicks at home. I think those are 2 winnable games. And then the Pelicans, which you need to beat. So again, you can stay in front of them. And then you got the Rockets and Mavericks again. We're here. We're in the nitty gritty. We are in the bulk of it. We have a team. We have a roster. We have what just appears to be a very talented team, right? I mean, even the last game, LeBron and AD both played 26 minutes. Both of them have like 12, 13 points. They just kind of coasted the entire game, and we still won. Now, granted, it's a Warriors team without Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins, but they've still been very good without Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins, right? Like, Klay Thompson is still having a good year. Jordan Poole is still having a good year. They still have a solid team without Steph and Andrew Wiggins. I mean, granted, it's the Rockets, but still, they dominated the Rockets today. So this isn't like some slouch team. And we beat them in Golden State when they still have only lost like 7 games, counting our game, in Golden State. And, that was without LeBron. And this team just looks more fluid. Guys are getting more comfortable. We're averaging like 30 assists a game between this team. All of that. Like, this looks like a real team. You have shooting, you have size, you have defense, you have playmaking, you have everything you could want in order to win and be successful in this league. And that's the hope. I hope that they continue on this trajectory. We have a ton of stacked games against the teams that are in front of us. We have to win those games. We have gotten some huge breaks. Now, unfortunately, there aren't really any favorable games. The only game is the Jazz game, but they're playing the Spurs, who are on like a 15-game losing streak, and very likely are going to be on a 16-game losing streak, and therefore we're not going to gain any traction on them. So that sucks. But I will say that if the Knicks can beat the Pelicans tomorrow, that would be great. And then we just got to do our job. Look, as much as we need to like these teams in front of the Lakers and, really kind of keep an eye on every game, like every time the Mavericks, the, Pelicans, the Thunder, basically all like the 4 to 12 range, right? As much as we need to watch all of that, at the end of the day, if you're the Lakers, don't worry about that. Go win. If the Lakers win 20 out of 23 games or something like that, they're not going to have to worry about anything. If they get to 48, 45 wins, they'll be at the bare minimum the 6th seed this year, at least, if not better, right? So their job should be to just go out, go get the win, night in and night out. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. You do your job, and you'll have success. I mean, it's that simple, right? That's all you need. But, for example, right, like the Nuggets last year were the 6th seed, and they had 48 wins. The Jazz had 49 wins as the 5th seed. So now, if the Lakers can get to, just because of how tight this year is in the West, if the Lakers can get to like 44, 43 wins, they're probably the 6th seed. Because, I mean, for example, in comparison, the Clippers were the 9th seed, and they had 42 wins, and they were jumped by the Pelicans, right? So the Pelicans got into the playoffs with 36 wins. The Timberwolves had 46, and that was in a very dominant, like West dominating the league for the most part type season. I mean, you had the Suns, the Grizzlies, the Warriors, and the Mavericks all getting over 50 wins, and then the Jazz were at 49. And so it was a different season. This year, if they could just get to like 45, 44 wins, something like that, then they'll be totally fine. They will. They'll be totally fine. They'll get into the playoffs, and we'll be off to the races. But look, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they need to dominate. Now, I don't care about the stats, right? Like I've talked about that. I don't necessarily, when I say dominate, I don't mean going out and getting 40, right? Like this team has shown on several occasions that they don't really need to do that. Like that, we've had 2 back-to-back games in which both of these guys played under 30 minutes. And yeah, the Pelicans game, Anthony Davis had he had like 24 or something like that. LeBron had 20. But they don't need to go get 30, 40. They don't need to kill themselves. They can limit their minutes, right? Like if that's the case and we're winning, who cares, right? Like if we don't need LeBron James to kill himself and go get 40, then why? Why would we want that? We want to build confidence amongst these players. We want to build chemistry and team and allow guys to get going. We saw LeBron in my opinion, the first time this season that I can think of, where he was very like early into sets, let's go. One of the biggest things that we complained about earlier in the season was that LeBron was stopping the flow of the offense. He hasn't done that with this team. You can see the trust. You can see the difference. You can see he's getting into early sets with this roster. He's not holding the ball for 20 seconds, possession after possession, he's coming. I mean, even the commentator in the Warriors game brought it up and was like, when was the last time you saw LeBron initiate the offense and give the ball up so early into the shot clock? Because he just doesn't. So that means, like, the fact that he did that shows that he has a boat of confidence in this roster, that he likes what he's seeing with these guys, right? And then Anthony Davis, we need him. He was dominant in the interior, in the paint, gave you 12 and 12. If that's all we need to win, then that's all we need. We win. We know that LeBron James and Anthony Davis at any given moment can just go off. If you need 30 from LeBron, LeBron can go get you 30. If you need 30 from Anthony Davis can go get you 30. We're not worried about that. But why if we don't need it? Let them coast. Let's get into the playoffs and let's go run this table and try to go win a championship. Let's have these guys rested. Let's have these guys good to go. Like, let's do that. That's what we need. So anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I just wanted to share this information because I thought it was cool. Like, I was just checking, doing a little update and, just doing my daily, like, dives and everything and just seeing what the landscape looked like. And I was like, no way. The Lakers are only 4 games out of 4th place. I was like, that's insane, right? Like, we could literally, I don't know if we get that close. I don't really think we will, but good thing is all the teams in front of us have a tougher schedule than us, so that helps. Like, if we could get to, like, the 5 or 6 seed, that would be amazing. Amazing. Imagine if we ended up pulling off the 5th seed or the 4th seed after just such a terrible start. Imagine where we'd be if we started with this team from the beginning. But anyway, one step at a time, one game at a time. We got the game tomorrow. We'll see how it plays out. But anyway, as always, is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you again. Let me know